You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
Bring that beat back.
Indeed. No, he said it wrong. It's bring back that beat, DJ.
Bring back that beat. Whatever. Either or, however, or. All right, welcome to the Fourcast. We are back again. We had a week off. It was the
back again lady. Is the incredible, rhyme-animable, the unbeatable, the public enemy number one.
We are back. We were off last week. Glad to be back again. Reviewing a throwback. This is one of the classics we're going to do tonight. Claudine, a movie starring Diahann, Carroll, and a young, dapper, actually Hulk Hogan guns like James Earl Jones in this film. So I'm excited about this one. I'm glad we did this one. I'm glad we were able to do it. But let's go around the horn first. Doc, how you doing tonight?
I am fantastic, man. Obviously, y'all know what business I'm in. Think about it. When's the last time my phone been working like it's been working?
Really?
I just forgot. The pre-show.
So
we've been hopping and bopping all day long, man.
I'm sure.
God is good. So y'all have seen in about 45 to 60 days, we the big ass cigar.
Yeah.
About to be Island Dawkins again.
Yeah.
Island boys. All right.
So, I'm done with them cats, man. Them jokers so whack, man. It ain't even funny.
That's not even funny. I'm like, people going to see these cats? Really?
They cut their hair.
Yeah, they did, because they was looking hella goofy.
Because if I see anything that even look, I done missed out on some vacation opportunity, because as soon as I see Island, I cut that shit off just in case it's them, man.
Hey, way over the top of theirs. All right, so we are live on multiple platforms. Let me get to that. We're live on Facebook. We are live on Roku TV, on BS3 TV on Roku, or go to the website bs3tvlive.com. Get access there as well. And we're live on YouTube. Make sure to like, subscribe, click that notification bell. We got content every single day of the week. And I want to make sure we have polls up right now for the BS3 Network Awards, which is coming up August the 30th. I will have that flyer up in a minute. But August the 30th at 7 p.m., it will be in the slot of the Queen 3 and King show. So 7 p.m. Tuesday, August the 30th, will be live on our YouTube channel. But we have polls every day, probably for the rest of this week. Right now, there's a poll for
most versatile.
Most versatile, thank you. Most versatile podcast. And you can vote for your favorite podcast, whoever that is. So wanted to get that out there. All right,
probably Queen 3 and King, just in case y'all don't know.
It's between your cousin.
Let me
and
just say this about the BS3 Network Awards. Have you seen the difference in the quality of the shows from last year's awards to this year's awards?
Facts.
Let me just say this: to win anything this year, first of all, so you folks with the Oscars and the Grammys and all that stuff, a lot of them talk about the privilege it is just simply to be nominated, right?
Right.
But when I say, if you're a member of BS3 Network and you are a show, take the honor of being nominated, because this shit is hard this year.
Yeah.
It is a struggle, because number one, because we have so many talented shows on the network, so many talented personalities. This is hard this year.
Yeah, it is. And it's only going to get harder because we have more shows. We got shows that are fairly new that's putting out great content. I couldn't put them in the running yet.
And
but
I'm
next
like,
year, it's going to be even more.
I done fucked myself here because I recruited half the motherfuckers. I'm like, damn.
It's messing with you. It's messing with you for real, man. But that, that's a testament to the people that we have. That's a testament to Doc. That's a testament to my mom, who's integral in it, has been helping it. So I mean, like that just shows that we have good people.
No, that ain't your mama when it comes to BS3 Network. That's the executive administrative assistant. What you talking about? She got the keys.
Mama, I love you. P.O.P. hold it down.
No.
Hey, get somebody, go look up that clip if y'all never seen that before. Just type in "Mama, I love you." Yeah. P.O.P. hold it down. It'll come up.
All right, we all right. We take your word for it.
All right, A-Trap, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I had a ball Saturday on Saturday show doing the top 10. Looking forward to the next one.
Yeah.
I caught a piece of that, but y'all cut out on me with your technical difficulties. Who had the technical difficulties? What I was.
It was a bunch. My friend Chris, he was at a party, so he was in the car, so his cut out. Then my dad had to leave.
Oh no!
And then it unexpectedly cut out about 2 hours in. So then we just rebooted.
What
so
they say?
We got a part 1 and a part 2.
Real Negro activities. Ain't that what they say?
Real.
Yeah.
Real CT. But hey, we got through it. It was a great show. Wilkes, how are you doing, sir?
I'm good. Doing all right.
Good.
Doing all right.
What's the deal on the other Mustang, man? I didn't know that you had the black one in the driveway.
Oh, the black one. It's fine. It's not modded as much. I mean, it's got a lowering kit on it, but I haven't done anything to it. I may supercharge it.
Yeah, you told me what you think about it because it's in the driveway, another one in the garage. So you told me what you believe about it anyway.
Oh yeah, but now the black one's back in the garage, but the orange one is in the driveway. But
okay,
it's kind of back.
Hey, you don't seen that SS Chevelle Chevy coming out with, man?
I hope they stay with that body type. I hate when they show you the prototype and then change it. I hope they leave it like it is.
That joke is funky, man.
I hope they leave it like it is.
When they pull the cover off, I'm like, woo.
That Chevelle heavy.
I had to go change my drawers when I saw it, boy. That was moist from the front end.
Yeah.
My front bottom got a little humid there.
My front bottom. I hope they stay close to that body, that prototype, man. Because that thing's nasty. It's nasty.
That's well needed. All right, let's get to some shout outs here. A-Trap says, hello, everyone. Hello, A-Trap. If that was you. I don't know if that was somebody else. He said, I'm trying to remember the name of that movie.
To the people.
Unless he done gave somebody else access to the End of the Bench podcast studios that we don't know about. You didn't leave no keys here in Dallas when you was here, did you, sir? Big shout out to a couple of people. We got Kelly in the building. She's actually a previous co-worker. She said, I was trying to remember the name of that movie about a week ago. Claudine, it is on YouTube. That's how all of us watched it. Because it's I could not find it anywhere else. Baby Queen in the building. We got Craig / Daniel White watching as well. CJ in the building. So what's good, y'all? Which one? Which comment was Craig? So I can check him real quick.
He didn't put a comment in. I'm just shouting him out. He watching.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna shout out the
hair up and get the Chief Rocker so I can talk trash about him right quick. Yeah.
CJ Blue Streak. Freak in the building.
All right, what's up, Blue Street?
The fifth Beetle. She says, hi, everyone. Everyone, please vote for Elevate. Dang, that's a little bit of some shots fired right there.
Who said that?
Keisha said that. She said, vote for Elevate.
That's
everybody else.
She I guess she mending fences with CJ or something, I guess.
They did. They had a kumbaya moment last week. Right. He was driving his
yeah, she said she wanted him to be saved.
Well, he was driving his
horrible color selection, but okay, that's whatever you're gonna do, man.
I'm ready to knock everything over.
Sports car. You asking the police to pull your ass over?
Yeah, man.
I think it's
orange. Red sports car.
I thought that
rookie
was
mistake, but that's all right.
All right, DJ Knox in the building. Eric Butler Senior, brother, coming up on Perspective on Thursdays. I think I heard a tentative date.
September, right?
First? So I think the first week of September. I think we'll be ready to rock. Just Joe in the building. Hey fam, I think that's Baby Queen. Thank you for tuning in, Alicia. Happy birthday to you as well. I had a birthday this week, or birthday party. Chief Rock in the building. Giving a shout out to everybody named, and he got everybody named right. Look at that. That's a round of applause.
What's up, Jersey Vern?
Oh, no, whoops. Maybe not.
That's okay. It's all right.
Close.
Well, he got it right one time.
It's all good.
There you go, talking crap.
Here we go.
Somebody said that's a setup.
What do you think that go? Down go to Cowgirls heel.
I think this Craig says Chevrolet won't do us like that. I don't know. That mean you don't like it, Craig?
No, he like it. He said they won't change the body.
Yeah, I just hope I hope they don't move away. They show you the body in the prototype, and then they end up changing stuff. Like leave it like it is.
That joke is right. They said they tried to stay as true to it as they could, man.
It's nasty, man.
I see that. Is that red or orange? I thought it was orange.
It looked red to me.
It do look.
It's
clean.
off red.
Eric says September 1st. All right, be on the lookout for that. D Great, thank you for tuning in. Always blazing airways with some good shows, music shows.
How you seeing the names, man?
I'm looking at the Facebook. I got the Facebook group up on my phone.
Got you.
Gotta do what you gotta do. But click that link in the description of the show so we can see your name. Baby Queen been celebrating 3 weeks. Hey, birthday month, huh? Birthday month.
Leo, right. What we do, man. It's the last day.
All right, Claudine.
Y'all got the rest of the Zodiac. It's worthless.
Worthless.
No. Wow. Well, September's dope. You know, my brother, my son.
Boo this man.
What part of September though?
She said Leo-ish.
Huh?
The early part, the Virgo part.
Nah, trash.
You and joke. you and just joke and have the rest.
He said it's an orange.
No, his camera must be trash then, because it come across as like a off red, don't it? Don't it?
It look orange to me.
Yeah, it does. But see, that's the crazy thing. I don't know. Some people swear my car was red. I'm like, it's not red. Like,
no, yours don't. Never look red to me.
Yeah, it's like
Libras. Libras all
Libra.
day.
That's what's up, Vern. See, Vern, I'm a Libra, man. So why you coming at me, bro?
Libras all day.
Why you coming at me, bro? I'm a Libra. October 15th.
Coming for the throat.
We supposed to unite, Jersey Vern. Even though your name real old like Vern, we
you notice me, Nicole, and Lily have none of these issues.
Yeah, well, that's because y'all not confident. Y'all need to adhere to each other because y'all not strong enough.
We be the three
we strong enough to stand up on our own if we need to. That's why he got a good strong name like Vernon here.
If it wasn't for Leo,
you see a Vernon, you push over here.
We won't hear none of that.
Your name Vernon, your name Vernon, you done built churches.
Right.
Pastor
Vernon. He said, "My bad, son." All right, y'all coming to
y'all gotta apologize. Look, Alicia, Brian, Nicole, these real names.
Said, baby, please, he's standing on y'all neck.
Man, that's Eddie Murphy dad.
These real
names. Named after Eddie Murphy's dad.
Gentlemen, stay on task. Hey, this ain't been on in a minute.
This our show. You ain't putting nothing in on this, man.
Here we go.
Shots fired.
Yeah, you worry about perspective.
Let's start, man. Get on tag.
All right, Claudine. I thought I'd maybe seen this before, but obviously I had not, because watching this brought a lot of vibes. So initial thoughts. To me, it gave me some Crooklyn, a little bit of Crooklyn vibes. Maybe it was as many kids. I think she had 4 in that movie. But it was good to see James Earl Jones not in something where he was a larger size James Earl Jones. But initial thoughts, Wilkes?
No, I thought it was
large.
I thought it was pretty solid. I mean,
extra large.
That movie was in the relative's house. It was on VHS. It was always on top of the TV, not on the shelf, but on top of the TV.
On top of the TV.
I thought it was great. I think James Earl Jones, I think he did a great job. I think, of course, Joe Jackson showed up again, but
there he is again.
Other than that, when watching it, it's always like, my mom being 58 and, her growing up, with this movie and in her wheelhouse, and my aunt, it's just kind of like one of those things where the music, the way they dress, the pictures you would see if you had the photo albums.
Yep.
And some of the things they encountered too, because it was one of those things where this is what was going on in Harlem at that time, and then of course, you had those little pockets of, I guess it is resistance, but you had those movements that were kind of standing up against, what was going on with the police, what was going on with the government. So it was definitely, for me, all around, I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It's been a while since I've seen it. I'm glad Doc brought it up because it's been a minute. Like literally the last time I saw this movie, I think I was in high school and it was on VHS then. So it's been a minute. It's been a minute.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those for the archives to have in the collection for sure.
Yeah.
A-Trap.
I thought it was a super dope movie. This is one of the few movies that I actually did notice the soundtrack. And I noticed the older movies, I do notice, like when we do the throwback movies, I always notice the soundtrack. I actually own the soundtrack to this movie. This would be deemed black exploitation, but this was before they was calling it black exploitation. This is when people like my man Melvin Van People, screw you, Mario. Y'all know why. But this is back when Melvin Van People and other people from the culture were running films and making their own imagery, and it took a piece out the culture, and it's an educational piece as well, and we'll get into that later.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome movie. This is the real deal. Definitely it was.
Yeah.
He said, you young, son.
Yeah, man. I'm a youngin', man.
Yeah, he still smell like Similac. Hell over there.
Out of milk, man. That government milk, man.
I can't wait to watch this. Well, it's on YouTube. YouTube is free. So that's a positive point. All right, Doc.
Yeah, this matter of fact, I was over to the baby queen's house yesterday, visiting my little nephew and whipping my brother-in-law some dominoes on a wonderful Sunday afternoon, and this movie came up. And Claudine is, man, I've been watching that movie since I was about 7 or 8 years old. It was one of those movies that you'd catch on a Saturday afternoon at the house. And, you that age, you ain't got nothing else to do anyway.
Right.
And so that movie, man, I can't tell you how many times I've seen it start to finish or pieces of it. I just too many to count. And it has a special place for me, so much so to where my older kids actually brought me the soundtrack to Claudine one year for, I can't remember if it was Father's Day or my birthday. So A-Trap, I had a soundtrack too around here somewhere. And it is one of the only soundtracks, one of the only movies, that one artist or one group did the entire soundtrack.
Right.
And that don't happen very often.
Right.
And when I say Gladys Knight and the Pips put their foot all up in this soundtrack,
absolutely.
From On and On to the Mr. Welfare Man to Make Your House a Happy Home, man. You want to talk about some, let's sit around, play dominoes and listen to this, man. Right. If you ain't proud to be black, listen to this and eat some barbecue chicken or something and tell me you don't walk away saying, damn, I'm glad I'm black. I promise you will.
On and on.
This one has a special place for me.
And it's kind of
based on the history, man.
And kind of like what A-Trap was saying and kind of what Doc is saying, it's like, he said this was the first movie that he's noticed the soundtrack, but it was almost like it forced you to listen to the soundtrack because when something would happen, the soundtrack would pretty much just take over the moment. The soundtrack would that song would take over the scene, So it was definitely one of those moments where, Gladys
man.
Knight and the Pimps.
They wove it into the fabric of the movie very nicely, you know, right?
Very nicely.
But Chief Rocker, yes, sir, that I know of.
That's on the books.
Yeah.
And I'm sticking to
I got hoes. I got hoes.
In different areas.
Well, before while we talking about the soundtrack, I don't want to do the Chicago thing, but he is one of my favorite artists. Curtis Mayfield did the entire soundtrack.
Oh, do what you do, man.
Yeah.
And I told you, matter of fact,
well.
a few weeks ago, I told you, shit, quit apologizing for Chicago, because if Chicago is in there like that,
right?
You know, shit, they in there, you know.
Because it mentioned Gladys Knight and Curtis Mayfield at the end.
Yeah, he did. Curtis did the thing. They performed it.
Yeah.
No, that's
Curtis Mayfield, a bad boy too, man.
He don't get no. I don't think
he's underrated. Yeah, man, underrated.
He's
underrated. Yeah, bad boy. And he got a damn good name. He got an old strong name like Vernon too. Curtis. See, you tell the Curtis that you're gonna push around. Yeah, that ain't happening. I'm gonna call Curtis. Curtis
going upside your head.
I better leave Curtis alone.
Going upside your dome.
Curtis going to the trunk. Oh, everybody get down.
I better bring Curtis's money back.
right, yeah. Curtis gonna backhand somebody.
Yeah, Curtis a good pimp name too, you know.
It is. Yeah. I was thinking that. Golden Brooks, thank you for tuning in.
Living my life like it's golden. Living my life like it's golden.
in the building. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, the soundtrack was so nicely woven in, and there was so many songs that, like, even I didn't know the names of them, but I was singing along with a lot of them. What you say, Adrian? I heard it.
Checking to see if Curtis was a Leo. You know, he might
be. Is he?
Nah,
I doubt it.
You Libra?
Nah. Yeah,
I Libra.
Nah, actually, he's Gemini.
Oh.
That's why he's so good. He got multiple personalities to pull from. Shit.
All right, so Claudine, everything about me is strong. That's why
I love it. You know what I'm finna do? I'm finna take a screenshot for all you viewers who want to text me about the forecast while you watching the forecast. I'm
put it on the screen.
Screenshotting y'all shit and putting it on.
Put it on the screen.
I'm just gonna tell y'all that now.
Oh no.
The opening scene where they talk about vitamin F.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
There was some bad jokes. There was some bad jokes.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, it's an older movie. But so this was based in Harlem. Wooks, did you say that? Is that true?
Yeah, it's Harlem. Yeah, it was shot in Harlem. Yeah.
Okay. Theodora must be a Gemini. She said yes.
Indeed.
Gemini.
Born like 8 days after her. Well, 8 days after her birthday.
Okay. That's why we got the blue streak freaking in the regular Theodora. Gotcha.
So James Earl Jones, like I said a little bit earlier, man, he was a trash man, a garbage man in this movie.
Yeah.
And with the guns, man, we was lifting one of them trash cans. I was like, boy, I didn't know James was getting it in. Getting it in back today. I only remember James from like Coming to America on. Maybe for me, that's what I really remember. I know he's been in a lot, but
he's got a wheelhouse.
And to be talking shit to the white folks in their neighborhood about what trash he ain't gonna take in 1974. That's it.
We ain't gonna talk to you like that.
Union.
Old brother right there.
I guess he said, "I throw your trash out."
I forgot about that aspect.
Yeah,
I
mean, but you know what? He was talking trash, but he was talking trash in an appropriate way. He was quoting the rules.
Yeah.
So it was like, I ain't doing nothing.
But
this is what I'm gonna do.
I'm gonna do it the way we the way we're supposed to do it. And that's not the way we're supposed to do it.
It's funny, I mentioned that last week on my show. We sometimes people in our community get process and procedure. All he did was he offered him the process, dude gave him the procedure, and he got frustrated.
Right. Yeah, but James Earl Jones looked good in this one. Claudine was a maid, even though I only seen her go to work once, and I only seen James Earl Jones work twice. But obviously they was working all them other days.
What you want to make the movie about? They didn't at their job.
Yeah, I think it was more that.
Well, Claudine couldn't work.
Well, she worked.
She was making money under the table.
Right.
Yeah. And the lady under her voice,
they was getting with the getting.
On and on.
On and on. Big Jeff Fox in the building out of Miami. He said, I need to watch this. You do. It's on YouTube. Just type in Claudine. It's a couple different, because I watched it, half of it on one YouTube channel. Me and Wilkes, I think we watched it on the same one, and then I found it on another one to watch the other half. So I mean, it's definitely out there. This is a classic movie that I was like, man, why haven't I seen this? And maybe I just wasn't. I was at an age where I just was watching it, but I didn't know what it was. But
this is another example how like TV has been ruined, because as Doc said, I can remember me and my two sisters, we would watch stuff like this. Us and our cousins would mob up at my Aunt Connie's house, or my grandmother's house, my great grandmother's house, or my Aunt Arthur's house. Yeah. We would all mob up, and it'd be 15, 20 of us watching this, and what's the name of the movie? Buck and the Preacher, and Uptown Saturday Night. We would mob. It would be all the cousins within one age group, but they were all older than me. They all like 7 years old, 5 to 7 years older than me. But you know, we would all be there. Hey, it was an event on Saturday night for our parents.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean,
we would all mob up and you know,
that's what I was telling Ben. I mean, these type of movies were coming on Saturday night, Saturday morning. You know, if you stayed up after the showtime at the Apollo, you might get you a classic one. I mean, it was one of, like he said, TV's not the same anymore. I mean, I remember you come home from church and Godzilla flick gonna be on, or Bruce Lee flick gonna be on,
or how about this, Tarzan?
Yeah, Tarzan was definitely
which was significant in this movie,
right? Yep.
I never really watched Tarzan, man. I
rock with Tarzan, man.
I hated that.
I don't know. It was so many different
white man running around in his drawers, man. I ain't want to.
Even the girl said it in the movie. Why are you watching this?
yeah, man. I was not rocking with that dude.
But to H-Rap's point, though, we did that a lot more back in the day, where we would quote unquote mob up over a family house. Right. You got folks sitting all on the floor, you know, watching the movie. You know it's gonna be some good food and play.
Oh yeah,
plenty of laughs, you know, and we don't do that kind of stuff often enough. It's just watching TV, man, or watching a movie, or watching when Richard Pryor comedy specials came out back in the day. It was no question what was going to happen and how we was going to watch those movies. Yeah. And like Lily, like the two baby queens, Lily and Mika, they weren't privy to a lot of that kind of stuff. That was kind of starting to fade out by the time they got of age. But that's stuff that we did. Me and the older queen, the seasoned queen, we know that, man.
Hey, H-Rap, I was showing this to Ben because I couldn't remember which Pryor. Was it Pryor's Place? Was that the show?
It's the Richard Pryor Show.
It's the Richard Pryor Show. So Pryor's Place came after that. Was that?
That was way after that.
That was way after that.
I seen that and I was like,
I showed it. And I was like, I was like, everybody hates Chris. This is the Pryor Place show right here. That's kind of what it was.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right, Jim.
Dave Chappelle.
Yep.
You're right, Jim. Show. NBC. It's the one that's on NBC. It's only 5 episodes. 6 if you catch the roast. The roast is better than all 5 episodes.
Jeff talking about some Bruce Lee classics, Tarzan.
Man.
We was corny as kids. We was rooting for the white dude.
The voiceovers don't match.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I'm going over there.
Want to fight?
Don't
fight me.
Classics.
Claudine, Sparkle, let's do it again, and Coolio.
Yeah, even the Wiz.
I remember watching.
The Wiz. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Gosh. My daughter, because my parents, they're not gonna. She went. So my daughter went to go visit my parents, and it was like, we watching the Wiz. She was like, "What's that?" We was like, "We about to put it on right now."
Did she have nightmares? Because some of them parents,
especially when they got that.
She did. Yeah. She loved the singing part. So,
Michael Jackson's black.
Yeah,
right.
He was dark.
Right.
Shout out to my man Ray Jones in the building. We used to work together. He's an Eagles fan. We still cool though.
Oh,
saw the movie.
Cut him out.
He said saw the movie in the mid-70s, a classic. One white man beat a lion.
Jeff is on it. Hey, beat the hell out of that lion. Hey,
Wanga.
He stayed stabbing that lion every episode too. I used to be like,
appreciate you for tuning in. We ain't seen you in a minute. Hopefully you're doing well.
Wanga, what's up, Bubba?
Hopefully you're doing well. Appreciate you, Ray. Appreciate you tuning in, checking us out in the background. I know you may not always be able to be in the comments, but appreciate you. Y'all didn't watch those late night
Creature Features.
Yeah.
Oh man,
definitely.
What? Oh gosh,
most definitely.
Absolutely.
So y'all don't know about that Ironside.
Yeah.
They don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know.
All I know is the reruns.
Y'all got me on that.
What's the other one?
Ben was in the bathtub taking in real long baths and come out mustier than he did when he went in.
Why you didn't play?
I was playing the whole time.
Using all this mama lotion up and shit.
Right.
Look at that in his back.
Let's take it up back.
You're busy playing with Avon toys.
He said the creature feature scared him.
Man, those some scary joints, man.
Yeah, back then, that was.
Especially this movie, man. Trilogy of Terror. Insane. Had this little voodoo doll coming up from up under the bed. Man, I was scared till I was like 17.
I knew it was blowing minds. I know it was because it still hold up. I'm like, what kind of creepy shit is this? Man, what kind of creepy shit is this? What they watching back then? Like, what is the hell?
Did they watch the Black, White Wiz or the Michael Jackson? They watched the Michael Jackson
Black
Wiz.
The Wiz.
Yeah,
there's only one Wiz. There's only one Wiz. There's a Wiz of Oz.
Wiz, go.
Talking about Judy Garland.
Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, Wolfman.
Blackula.
Stop telling on us, man.
Remember that scary looking black dude on Creature Features?
Yeah,
it looked like a black lurch kind of.
Yeah,
that Jet Centerfold page don't open no more. You know what I'm talking about?
Page 36, Jack.
It's stuck together.
Page 36.
Open that one. To the Jet magazine, don't worry.
Yeah, every time he opened it, he done tried to open it and tore her face off with it. Trying to open it.
Don't worry about that. All right. Karen Black, A-Trap. I don't know. What's that in regards to?
I don't know, but he better clear that shit up real quick, though. I know that.
Real quick.
So she had 6 kids. One of them was Joe Jackson. The rest of them were kid actors. It's Joe Jackson.
But what did he play in
Freddie Boom
Welcome
Boom
Back, Carter? Boom Boom
Freddie
Boom
Boom
Boom.
And that was Coach Cheese too.
Yeah.
Hey, he played in a lot of classics, man.
Yeah, that's Boom Boom is the dude for me.
We got to watch that one. Too.
Hey, dog, you play the bass? No, I just like standing around going boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
Appreciate you.
That's
Jeff.
exactly why I got an acoustic guitar in my front room. That room you stayed in, that's the reason. See, sometimes you put it out, and when she walk in, you just set it down. Like I was just picking her a little bit. Play something.
I was just playing around a little bit.
I gotta be violent.
Yeah, you ain't ready.
But we can burn one up if you want to.
So James Earl Jones pulls up. They and I think they've been talking to each other. It seemed like they've been talking to each other. That wasn't the first interaction. Did y'all
who that?
That looked like he took his first shot.
Yeah, they hadn't been talking. They had probably been looking at each other.
He was.
They had been seeing each other. He's like, I've been seeing her, but I don't think he had talked.
Okay, yeah. To me, it made it seem like they
exactly, CJ.
To me, it made it seem like they had talked. They've been talking, or maybe they just been looking at each other. But this was Black love. Even going through the struggle, even figuring out what they was
figured out the Karen Black shit. Go
ahead.
Yeah,
D-Gray just hit me, man. Yeah, D-Gray just hit me. Yeah. My man. Yeah.
I like to phone a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Will he phoned a friend?
No, he just hit me.
He dropped it in there.
Yeah.
He hit the hotline. But when he came over to pick her up and he seen it, well, and the little girl came to the door. We opened the door for strangers, but you opened the door.
Right.
You say we'd open the door for strangers.
Right. You done now. If I wanted a kid, you dead.
Right. You gotta open the door.
All you had to do was put his foot in the door.
Yeah.
Over here now. Oh, D Great jumped over to the YouTube. We appreciate that.
We
appreciate that. We watched Cornbread Earl and Me.
Yeah. I got, because of that movie, Golden, I got a little cousin, and that's his nickname, Cornbread.
Cornbread.
It's because of that movie. And in fact, the host of Elevate on the BS3 network, his youngest son, that's his nickname, is Cornbread, because of that movie.
But when he picked her up on the date and then they went over to the house, when he was there, he was looking around like, how many kids you got?
No, see, y'all finna say you skipping some shit.
No,
number one, how about the aspect of the fact that they gonna tell you the point they were gonna drive home on this fucking movie? Because in the first 10 minutes, they had mentioned welfare 3 times already.
Right.
So they let you know we finna drive this point home about this.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you like this: when I walked in that door and saw all them kids, 73 kids, the movie would have been over. It would have been about something else. It wouldn't have been about our relationship.
Would have been about her struggling.
Man.
Yeah, you're right about that though. They made that very clear early on. We gonna pick this apart. We gonna show what it is. Yeah. And I put in my notes. This was it was real life. What did I say? It was stereotypical, but it wasn't in shame. It wasn't trying to shame us. It was showing this is what we experienced. Right. So I appreciated that element of it. It wasn't like just trying to exploit us just because.
Right. And what I liked about it is they showed, even though she was getting welfare, they showed both of them had no problems with working. Both of them wanted to work. She wanted to work bad enough that she snuck to work. And he wanted to work, because he was like, no, I got a job. I'm working. You tell me, what you mean I gotta go on work? And when it came down to you trying to put me on welfare, he didn't want to be on welfare. He wanted to work. And even when he was gonna run from the child support and all that other stuff, what you gonna do when you get there? Get a job. Shit, what you talking about?
Like, damn, and you still gonna hit me.
Yeah. But they made sure early on that that's what they were gonna talk about. And at first, she actually shot him down. At first, she was like, "Nah, I'm good." And then something clicked, and she was running through the
way he talked to that white man. Okay. They were like, "Oh shit, she got moist in the front bottom like I did earlier about that Chevelle."
Yeah, man, her basement was flooded.
She was so impressed that I'm letting this stranger in the house with my kids, my 6 kids.
My bad.
And I'm going over to his house and getting in his tub.
And fall asleep.
Really? Yeah. Like, you ain't ever seen Dateline? Well, Dateline went out.
But then women on the bus, I told her she needed some, so they wasn't lying here.
Hey.
Said that vitamin
ass women on the bus, man.
Always Kev in the building. Big Illinois
mud ducks in every crew, boy.
Ain't
it? And they had some bad voiceovers on that bus.
Always had some booger wolves.
Man, was that even her friends, or they just happened to be riding the bus?
You know how it is in those communities, man. Back in the day, when people commuted to work, all the jobs is on one part of town. All the jobs
y'all on the same bus.
Yeah, that's route. And matter of fact, I say in those communities back in the day, I got news for you. When I was in New York, you catch the J train coming towards Queens at a certain time, it's gonna be all them jokers on there coming home from work, man.
Yeah,
and that's just what they did every single day. You know,
yeah, she was running like a white girl in the forest in a scary movie. She's hitting it. She had on some Cortezes.
He pulled up in that drop top Impala, man. Diamond Rock Waller.
Yeah.
Hey, he was sharp dressed too, man. He was sharp dressed too. Pants, jacket.
What I liked about it, man, is he was intelligent, and they let you see that. Mm-hmm. And she even commented on his intelligence at one point during the movie, So because she even asked, "Well, why you get stuck being a garbage man? You a smart guy, you're an intelligent guy." And there was no doubt whatsoever. Right. He knew exactly. His vocabulary was tight. He was sharp. He was balanced. He was versatile. He can shoot craps.
Yeah.
You know, he can go, you know, to the pool hall. He can drink. He was as versatile as hell.
Renaissance man.
He had that
Yeah,
street
yes.
knowledge, but then he had that common sense too.
But see, that's something that I said when I said it's educational too, because as you said, this is a hip together brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he was forced to be a garbage man because, like, what you have to really listen to the dialogue to miss the fact that more than likely he quit a better job to go be a garbage man because the state is taxing him to take care of his children. He said, "I'm sending her money." In the dialogue, he said, "Damn it, I'm sending her money."
Right,
and
that's right. That's right.
But she's still hitting me.
Right,
that's right.
But it ain't her; it's the state, because I got a home girl who literally had to go to the state and drop the child support case because at one point my man was living a good life nefariously. I'm just gonna say it that way, and he ended up doing a little time. But by the time he ended up being incarcerated, she had got her life. You know, he was putting her through school, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she got on public aid, and he ended up owing public aid like $4,000 when he got out of penitentiary. But they kept the child support meter running. So he ended up owing $17,000 when he got out, and she had to go down there and waive it because my man he went from balling to regular old Mo.
Yeah,
and he was working at a fast food joint getting taxed till they got their $4,000 back. But he was every day picking. He was date night on her new guy date night. He would come to their crib and keep his son.
Mm-hmm.
And back then, more than likely, a lot of these sisters didn't realize that, hey, I don't have to have him on child support. It's a system in a lot of cases. I'm not saying a lot, it's a bum ass dudes out here who ain't doing what they're supposed to do to take care of their business, right? And that's where you may need to state to step in. But it's a lot of these instances in which they are holding these brothers and sisters, in some cases, hostage with this, and it's creating a gap between black man and the black woman, because now you thinking it's her who got me under attack, and it's really the state.
Well, even in this movie, when the welfare worker was there and James Earl Jones was talking to her, he's like, "No, y'all not finna take me and put me on the hook."
Right.
And then she was like, "Well, y'all don't have to be married. We just, if there's another authority or a man in the house." But he's like, "No, you're not going to put me on the hook." Yeah. Because of what she's done. Of course, then they looked at, he kind of looked at it like, "Oh,
because he messed up."
Yeah.
Right. So,
and that's when he messed up.
Yeah, that's when he knew.
And
that's when he knew.
When keeping it real.
Hey, you start talking about my money. Hold on.
I gotta go. Oops, somebody calling me. Somebody paging me.
Yeah, he grabbed that hat quick, dude.
Hey, I gotta go.
Believe it or not, man, one of my closest friends, child support literally is the reason he dead. Because he listened to an outside force. I'll tell y'all on off air, but he listened to somebody else. My mom used to work for a Department of Child Support. She was in the hierarchy, and she told him what to do. And he listened to some numbskull, and it ruined him. And it ended up leading to his demise.
Yeah. Wow. And I'll say this:
it's a cold, cold world.
It is. Yeah. It is. And Man Talk Mondays just talked about this.
Yeah, they
talked about child support. So.
Yeah.
Go back and check that out. That's on Facebook right now. It'll be up on BS3
or
TV.
YouTube if you want to watch
YouTube. Definitely.
Or I got even a better idea. Go to that Roku TV and check out BS3 TV and watch it there. Shit.
Do it. All right. So this really hit home, I think, on a lot of points. And also I wanted to bring up that clip that was posted in the group. I think it was Justin that posted it. When it was talking about the threat is not it was Tank.
The threat of violence. They're not afraid society, those other members of society, those non-blacks, is not afraid of the threat of violence from us. They're afraid of the threat of love from us. That's what's dangerous.
Right.
Is if we start loving each other like we're supposed to, it's going to bring us together in a way. That's what they're afraid of, which is why they break that up and let the violence stand.
Right. And I thought, go ahead, A-Trap.
No, I was just agreeing.
Okay. Cool. So she ended up going over there, ended up getting in the tub, falling asleep. He was like, "You did?"
Yeah. And I like, and then he kept it very, very real, did he? When he went in there and he lifted up that tire, that's what we gonna do. That's real Negro activity.
Hey, Jay was a player.
And hey, how about did y'all peep the bubbles that he put in there? What he used for the bubble bag?
Dish soap, baby, let's go.
Yes, sir.
Get the dish soap, baby.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
And then he was like, don't cover that up. That's nice.
Yeah.
Put that down. Put that down.
It's like if you had any questions why she got 6 kids, that's because she letting the nigga get it on the first night. That's why she got 6 kids.
And then the mouse trap, right? And then the mouse trap. You put the mouse trap out. Was he calling the? Was he giving that name to the mouse or to the roach? The name. What was the name?
He called it mouse.
Velvet.
They call him Ben. Called it Ben. He was talking about the mouse. Thanks to my sister too. She just shot me up.
Yeah, he did. He also said that mousetrap. And I put this in my notes. Why every time you about to do something, you about to get it on, the woman always like, "Hey, the porch light's on." I'm like, I don't care about the porch light, woman. He's like, "No, please go get that mousetrap. I'm thinking about it." He's like, "Girl, that mouse ain't got nothing to do with you."
Trust me, but he's gonna be in there.
Always at the most opportune time.
Yeah, don't worry about this mouse. Worry about this snake that's gonna bite you. I do the show for Will. If y'all don't know, I do this whole show for Will.
Yeah, he had to make sure he got that mouse. She was like, "Oh, what was that?" He's like, "Don't worry about that."
Hey, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
I mean,
James has some GAME.
No, my sister's messing with me.
Oh, okay.
That man said, "Let me nibble on the neck. We ain't worried about no mouth." Man.
Yeah.
Hey, James has some game, man. And then the phone ringing off. Oh, go ahead.
This is one of the things I did like about this, but this is a perfect example of what I was talking about earlier. Us doing our own movies, because it's certain nuances that other people don't catch. Like we catch the mouse thing. Sisters, I don't know what it is about black women. You don't run up on me if you smell it like outside.
Right.
It's just certain nuances. I can't think of his name right now. He did Fences and the one when made all the black women hate Denzel Washington. It's Fences and Mom's Black Bottom. I can't think of his name.
Yeah. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
And one of the things the dude who
like you,
huh?
Like you.
Yeah. Right. That's straight out your granddaddy playbook.
You think when I go to work, you think that boss man
August Wilson.
August Wilson. There you go.
Yeah, August Wilson. August Wilson met the dude who directed Mom's Black Bottoms in 1989. He hadn't even written it. He said, "I want you to direct my movie." And he was like, "Okay, let me get the script." He said, "I ain't wrote it yet." And then when Denzel bought all the copyrights,
that's relationship building right there, man. I love
Denzel bought all the copyrights to his films. They asked Denzel, "Why you gotta have?" They asked him, when people ask you why must you have a black director, he said Steven Spielberg wrote. He said Steven Spielberg did Schindler's List, and
I saw that interview, man.
What's his name? Scorsese did Goodfellas. He said they are both excellent directors. They both could have made excellent films, but it's certain nuances in those. So he said that's why we need a black dude. And when you watch this, like Doc said, that's some homeboy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know this. I was going to say something that I shouldn't say, and that's why it's going to stay in there. This your old lady, so she sleep. Ooh, And it's just certain things that we do with sisters. Like when you see your old lady walk past, you acting like you really focused on the game, but you ain't got but like 4% of your vision focused on that TV, and everything is watching her walk past.
Yeah,
and you know,
absolutely.
So and even a dish soap
do.
situation. It's a lot of folks in other communities that would have watched this movie and not picked up on the bubble bath situation at all.
Man.
Right.
You know,
Right.
How many times have I traveled to the kitchen and get the dish soap as a kid?
Man.
I was impressed
for
at the
the
fact that
record,
they had a white bottle of Dawn. We used the green Palm Olive.
Leave it in the corner. Leave it in the corner.
Joy made the best bubbles, Jack.
Yeah. What did?
Joy soap.
Joy.
And
you came out the tub lemon scented.
Right.
Boy, why you smell like cleaning products?
Hey,
Right.
you ran up into the joint like this.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Don't let that bottle get empty. Put some water in there and shake it up.
That's
Right. Exactly.
Now you got a whole nother.
Exactly.
You got another quarter bottle.
That's
Yeah,
right.
come on, baby.
Do that for
least.
lotion. Do that for
Don't fake the phone.
toothpaste. Do that for everything.
You don't even need no toothpaste. Go get some of that baking soda, boy.
Right.
Yep.
Mix
Yep.
it in there. Go get some and put that in your teeth. You
You got a sore throat. Go in there and gargle some of that salt water.
good? You're
I
right.
used to hate that. I'm not sick. Okay, my
Right.
throat
Just
cured.
get
I'm
it anyway.
healed.
Just get it anyway.
I'm healed.
What I used to hate is that Vicks ass. Hey, and I don't want none of that. I don't want Vicks ass on my chest.
Boy,
And then put the blanket on top of it.
Yeah.
now, Thanksgiving, he was lined up for that castor
Washing
oil.
powder.
Oh, God. Oh.
Yeah.
Castor
And if you
oil.
fail, you was hoping you could heal before you got home before they put that mercure comb on your
Yeah.
ass, boy.
Man,
They might
That
set your
monkey
arm
blood
on
is
fire.
what
That
we
monkey
used to
blood.
use.
That monkey blood.
And that castor oil, that's what the pregnant women took when they got clothes because they knew they'd make that baby come on out of there. Then they walk around the block a few times.
Yes.
We finna go
Man.
walking. When we get back, we gonna take some castor oil. Let that baby come when it's ready. Hey, y'all torching the shit out that baby. So
Speed
it's
it up.
out there.
Damn
The
old
baby got to run from pit bulls and Dobermans around the block, then come home and figure out what the hell is this castor oil all over me.
Why I'm so greasy?
That's why you born scared of dogs and shit.
Right, man.
Baby come out full of grease.
Yeah.
Come on, man. What's this?
Wow. So they're laying in the bed. The phone keep ringing, and they getting mad. I'm like, you got 6 kids. What you expect?
Well, that's why you saw how he
them
was
to
gonna
call
deal
you?
with it. He gonna leave the phone off the hook.
The
Head.
phone going off the hook.
Yeah.
Now,
And the fact that they
Less
was
than a
calling, what you doing?
Uh-huh.
what time I'm
And
supposed to go to bed?
see, that was
Somebody did what?
unrealistic.
Yeah,
'Cause
you're
in
right.
real life, your mama said,
You're
call
right.
me one more
That's
time.
right. And it ain't no emergency. Oh, one call.
If you ain't dying, I bet not hear from you.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
hell, I wouldn't have called the first time because I knew if I didn't have no
Yeah.
good, if the house wasn't on
Oh
fire,
yeah.
Oh,
shit.
Hey,
I
and if
wish
the
you
house
would.
was on fire, you better
Yeah.
put it out and repaint that joint before she get
Now I'm
home.
finna give you Mr. George's phone number. Don't you call Mr. George's house unless this house on fire. Don't I'm gonna beat your ass when I get home.
don't you ring the phone?
Yeah.
And if the house on fire, I'm gonna beat your ass when I get back.
Anyway,
Right. Why you didn't put some of that water from the
hey, I'm
phone?
just gonna choose to go on and die. Hey, go on, let the fire take me. Shit. I'm gonna be sucking that smoke up. Yeah, man, let me.
Hey,
take me
house
down.
on fire. You trying to smoke a turkey so when she get home, that's how
I got dinner.
Right.
I got dinner ready. Yeah.
Man.
And then you call and you like, I wanted to know, can I eat some toast? Like they had to come all the way around to get me the phone.
Right.
You ask me something dumb like that.
And you asked about some toast.
beat the skin off your ass. Ask about the toe.
Don't call me no more. Don't
Hey,
call
man,
me.
all them kids need a whooping. All of them need to get lined up with a
Why
belt.
you echoing that,
I
Ben?
don't know. So I'm trying to figure out.
Stop
Hey,
it.
Freddie Boom Boom would have got his lip slapped off at my mama house.
Hey, who you talking about?
Oh,
I don't care
man.
how old
He was
you
talking
talking
too
about.
much.
Oh,
He was talking too much.
Hey,
He
tell
was
you about
practicing
my
for
mama.
that Joe roll.
I mean, one time we was watching. Me and my mom was. I don't know. I was about 14. We was watching the Brady Bunch, and Greg Brady said something to his father. He was remember he had this office in their house.
Right.
And Greg Brady said something. And my mama said, and that's why I would keep a stick under my desk so I could bust his damn
Yeah,
I'm like, really?
but they get to talk about it and shit over
Right.
there, you know?
Right.
Obviously, something's bothering you, son. Let's sit down and talk.
Nah.
Right after I dig my fist out your chest, because I didn't put it in there.
Whatever's bothering you, I'm gonna knock it out of you.
Bust your first, ask questions later.
15 minutes, it ain't gonna be bothering.
Let me tell this story real quick. I don't know if I told this one before, but it was, what was it? I don't know, July 4th or something like that. My mom's on the phone, and I'm gonna be like, you could be on the phone all day, and you could be cooking.
I bet your left cheek still hurt you right now.
Hey,
when it rain outside, you can feel that here there.
Hey,
if y'all see
next time
my
I
mom,
see Ben on July 4th, I'm gonna say phone and watch him flash.
My mom is probably 5 foot. She picked me up. I'm up against the wall. I'm like,
Man.
Hey, Ben, don't worry about it, Ben. I got one for you. My mother was insane about being on time. I mean, on time is late.
Right.
Yep.
If she said 9, you be there 8:31. So
you
know, I didn't even realize I was taller than my mother at this point in my life. And I showed up at like 9:15. She's like, "Didn't I tell you to be here at 9?" And I did like this, Ben.
Oh,
my great grandmother's house.
You done signed your life over, son.
She had a picket fence. My mother snatched off one of the pickets and broke it across.
Wow.
It was like, I was like, it didn't hurt. It didn't hurt. But it happened so fast. I don't even know if it hurt.
The shock is why you cry most of the time when you get whoopings.
Right. The sting came later. No,
I don't even remember it hurting. I'm just like, man, she just broke the stick across me.
I was telling this story at work, and my mom was working at a daycare. She's still in child development. She's been there for a while, but I said something to my mom on that playground at that church, and I took off running. She went to hit, like, backhand me, and I died and took off running.
That make it even more bad. Don't run. Don't run.
Why did I take off running? Because once she caught up to me, my gosh.
That's what
my mama wouldn't have chased me.
The ground.
She'd have been like, okay, when I get a hold of your ass, you ain't gonna be able to run no more.
Why did
I dodge and run? I was like, now my grandmother?
Yeah. You get around these white folks and acting like you done lost your damn mind.
Don't embarrass me about that school.
Now my grandmother, she was quiet with it. She tell you one thing, and if you didn't do it, and you in there doing whatever you doing and not paying attention, man, please.
Say chokehold.
Man, it's over with.
Yeah, chokehold.
Because you think she don't forgot? Nah,
right. Oh yeah. Or when you act up something, I'm gonna get you when you get home. You think everything good?
I'm gonna whoop your ass till I get tired.
Right.
Shit, ain't that how it always go anyway?
I'm just
Would you step out that shower, you hear that belt, or you thought it was done, huh? You thought I forgot, huh? She like juvenile. You thought it was done, huh? Thought you wouldn't get your whoop time.
Many times.
Yeah, I just had a J.C. Penney's flashback. My mama slapped me through. I ain't wanna. It was when, hey Doc, remember everybody was wearing those snow, or y'all ain't up top, but everybody went to wearing those snowsuits, like ski suits. And I didn't want that.
Yeah.
Man, I said, I don't want that. I got caught in the damn circular thing. And I literally rolled back around to her. She unhooked me. Oh yeah.
Remember that?
My niece Candace, man. Phyllis was getting that Candace one day, and she was like, "Get her!" And I was like, I was fast, man. And my niece stretched out on me, man. I mean, she put damn
out of there.
Chop.
Man, I thought I was fast.
Let's see. And Pastor Dodd in the building, and you from Breathing,
I think is what he said. Breathing.
Yeah, breathing. You might as well cuss at your mama.
Yeah.
Right.
What?
Oh yeah. Y'all wish you and don't mumble. Oh
yeah,
please.
one
Right.
time, shit. One time I messed around and said, "Dang, look at here, boy.
You's a brand kid, boy. You lucky.
Boy, look at here."
It's over.
Like, excuse me? Oh no, I'm
What'd you
good.
say?
Okay.
What'd you say?
I remember
Saying
once I
what?
said, "Hey, dog." I said pregnant once.
Mm,
No.
that's
Once.
not no.
No.
We
Trigger
couldn't even
word.
say we couldn't
Lie.
even say she lying.
Oh no,
we
yeah, we
couldn't
couldn't.
say
Oh
that.
no, yeah, you couldn't say
You
that.
couldn't say
Lying.
lying.
Oh no, you couldn't say that.
You had to
Lying.
say she telling the story.
And shut up was
Yeah.
a bad word. You definitely couldn't say
Oh,
shut
yeah.
up.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
what?
Yeah, you tell somebody shut up. Oh my god.
Oh, it's over. Yeah. The ground about to open up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, you hope
All
it
right.
did.
Yeah, you hope to do. Yeah.
Right.
So the welfare, which obviously they tapped on that deeply, but she would only get it obviously if she was alone. Now, was she still married?
No, she wasn't
No,
married.
'cause I don't think
I thought
nobody
they
was.
hinted to
Yeah,
that.
nobody was in the
Oh,
picture.
got an echo. Yeah, I thought they hinted to that at some point.
No, remember Freddie Boom Boom was like it looked like from the way Freddie Boom Boom described it, she had 6 children by 3 different men, and it would be like Freddie Boom Boom and the girl who ended up being pregnant, I assume, and then it's the middle 2, and then it's the little 2.
Abdullah.
Yeah.
And then every time
Yeah,
dudes would bone out, but again, it goes back to what I was saying. This system is set up to separate us, and we still feel the ill effects of that now. That's why I don't need no man. Oh man, these bras ain't no good, and it's just a perpetual situation.
Yeah.
And we need to have young people watch these movies to realize that the system,
That's right.
people always go, "Oh, you just making excuses." Nah, we're not. These things are inculcated into your DNA at this point because, anything done repetitively, it becomes a habit, and it could be created a traumatic experience, and then now you've created this wall as a self-defense. Whether it be men, I don't want no woman saying nothing to me, or it could be a woman. These men ain't no good. All you gonna do is try to get me popped, and then I'm gonna be on the hook for your mistakes, or our mistakes, or not even mistakes, our inability to take care of things responsibly. So that's why you have a lot of women out here who are defensive, and these, like somebody's show mentioned how men. Oh no, that was the show that we did, talk to the young ladies and young men. Me and Keisha did a series. We got one more part of that series.
Yeah,
and
that was good, man.
I
saw the one with the teenage girls talking. Yeah, they were.
No, those are young ladies. All of them were 20 and older.
Oh, really? Okay, they were talking.
I think the youngest person was 24.
They were talking some good stuff, man.
And the young ladies mentioned that the men let these young men down, and that is a problem. Because I grew up without, I had great men around me, but I ain't had nobody just standing in there. And that's why my nephews, and I did a halfway good job, because Golden has 4 boys. When Anthony and Phil, I was standing in the gap. Their father was there, but I was always with Anthony and Phil. But with Julian and Robert, I got into their lives later, because I don't know. I don't even know why I did it. And Julian, to his credit, on one of the shows, he was like, "Man, and he called me out. And then I said something, and he called me out, which I truly respect him for it. He said, "No, I didn't know your dad died." He said, "You really dropped the ball, because we cool now, and you reach out to me. We jam now, but I never met my dad either." That's a point of connection. And what we don't do is, we will turn to our sister or our cousin or our whatever and look at them and wave our finger at them and say, "You shouldn't have been with that no good such and such," instead of just saying, "Yeah, he's a no good such and such, but this my nephew and I'm rocking with him." You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, and I appreciate, like I said, and so we did drop the ball, but Chief Rocker, Ben can attest to this. because Ben has known me a little while longer than y'all. I've been saying it for years. If you were born between the year of 1960 and 1979, you dropped the ball, point blank, period. Because we let our children grow up in the world in which we didn't know the world was, well, we didn't let them know that the world was against them. And now when the world comes up against you, you create things like depression and anxiety and things of that nature. And that's why, in my personal opinion, that's ain't no law, but we didn't let them, we didn't teach them these things. And I was blessed enough to have good men in my life. And luckily, Phyllis did an excellent job with Julian and Robert, because otherwise they could have been dragged, you know.
Just to kind of touch on what H.R. was saying, like this, which I've noticed in most of these movies, and even the movie The Help, like you had to ride the bus to get to a decent job. Was that by design? I'm sure at that time.
Yes,
we're not gonna put a decent job in your
own neighborhood. Yeah,
right.
You can be home to cook dinner.
We're gonna see if you're gonna be lazy enough and not use the transportation. We want you to be lazy, but you're really gonna get up. You're gonna get up at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. You're gonna ride the bus. You're gonna take 3 different buses or whatever the case is. But I'm sure that was designed to
white flight. That's what it's called.
Right.
That is the result of white flight. When we start making come ups, the city of Detroit is proof positive of everything you're saying, Wilkes. Everything used to be right in the city of Detroit. Detroit was 65-70% black. And then they moved everything out to Auburn Hills and things of that nature, left the city to die. The west side of Chicago is another example. The Bronx, New York is another example. Philadelphia is another example.
Right.
When we start making strides, when they signed that 1965 1965 Civil Rights Act, when you can no longer say, because you this, and if you can prove discrimination, people could be civilly responsible. Those companies moved out to where white folks moved to. So now the jobs are right here. And like you said, you got to take 3 buses, ride a goat, and fly a plane to get to the job. And
walk 3 miles.
And both ways.
Right. So Detroit is the best example. If you ever want to see what white flight looks like and the result of it, man, just Google some pictures of Detroit. Detroit, and I'm gonna say 2005. Dude, do you know in the city of Detroit 3 years ago they were selling city blocks for $5,000?
God,
wow.
5
city blocks.
And I bet you they bought it up. And they finna get ready to do gentrification and make some money off of it.
You already know it.
1989, 1990, the Pistons was they was in the Pontiac Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan. And they said, we're gonna move to our own stadium. They built another one, Auburn Hills. Now they got a baseball and a football stadium downtown Detroit. And everything is coming back. So what you're saying, Wilkes, is perfectly feasible and it's 100% on point, because when you know the research, when you do the research and you look at these things, it is a systematic destruction of the black community. Because again, now Wilkes, H-Rap, Dog, and Ben got to go way the hell out, and then our women got to go way the hell out, and then your children are left there in the TV program with the madness and foolishness
for themselves to watch Tarzan.
Right.
To watch Tarzan.
I got to take 3 buses and hope one of my older kids cook dinner or make dinner.
Come home and
or heat dinner up because I made dinner before I went to work.
And then he can't have his own life, so he's gonna resent his mom. And then when he get older, he can resent women. It's just it's the cycle.
It's a cyclical thing.
And then the part
anxiety, that stress, that resentment.
West side of Chicago, says Pastor.
West side of Chicago. Yeah.
And I was gonna say, they kept saying 6 kids. They really hit that home too. They kept everybody kept telling it to her, and she's like, "Yeah, it's my kids," but I mean, I don't think she said it, but it's obvious. I'm not the only one that I was a part of having kids. The men are not there. You didn't see them at all. So I think in general we need to realize, like, let's not point the finger and say, "Oh, this woman got 5 kids." There was people involved.
Right.
I ain't seen nobody. There's only one person I ever heard of got pregnant by themselves.
Exactly.
Right.
Back. So I think the way they were pushing that home too, they were putting it on her. Everybody was putting it on her, but still, she wasn't it wasn't a one part thing, and she was still doing her thing. I mean, to be able to survive in that time and not go crazy.
And you know what, man? Like Doc mentioned, Doc jokingly said he would walk in the house and be like, "Oh, there's too many kids." But that's another testament to a brother like James Earl Jones, brother that James Earl Jones played. He walked in the house, saw those children, and he was looking at the person. That was another lesson. You look at the person, don't look at the situation, because one of the dudes I used to run with, he made this jackass of a statement. Man, these young girls stupid. They having kids, da-da-da-da. And he mentioned the situation that these kids having kids at 16 and 17 and da-da-da-da-da. He said it on Facebook one day. And initially I wasn't gonna say nothing because I knew he was speaking out of his ass, and he's captain of the dumbass team. So it is. But he kept chirping. So I was like, I just politely typed on Facebook, "Oh, well, I'm gonna let my mama know the next time you come by our house that you don't like women who had kids when they were 16 and 17. Right. I mean, you making this personal." I was like, "No. You said all these girls who 16 and 17 having children, and you kissing my mama behind and eating her food. She's one of those people."
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And like Ben said, me and Golden used to Blue Streak was chief. You know what I'm saying? My mom used to go to school on Monday and Tuesday. On Monday, she would cook dinner. And Tuesday she would cook dinner for Tuesday and Wednesday, and Blue Streak would heat up the food, and all she had to do was make rice or something, you know. So you're right, you know, and we never had no angst, but we thought that was normal.
Yeah, I had a pastor who put a very different spin on, you know, and for him at this point, he was basically defending church girls, because, you know, that was the thing, right? When church girls end up getting pregnant at an early age, and they got the reputation of being PKs, right? Preacher kids, right? And they was fast and all that other kind of stuff. He said, that ain't why they getting pregnant. Right. He goes, they getting pregnant because they are not sexually savvy like the girls who know, make sure he wearing a condom, make sure, you know, all these other things. He goes, that's why they're getting pregnant. He goes, that proves that they were inexperienced at it. So they not loose, they inexperienced is the reason why they was getting pregnant. And that just changed my whole perspective on that, man.
And real talk, we go back to the Aretha Franklin Respect documentary. Who was the daddy of them kids?
Exactly.
If we want to get real about it, it might have been Pastor Willis, a deacon so-and-so. So, like, let's talk. And I think the other
somebody counting that offering.
Right. Two ways. One or two different ways. Yeah.
And that's why you know, I'm not excusing anybody for anything. That's why I just look sideways at the whole R. Kelly situation. You know, we condemn R. Kelly all the time, but let me tell you something, man. One of my, you know,
you're right, Pastor Dodd. Yes, sir, or they dad.
Yeah, I was just about to say this.
Absolutely.
Me and my sisters know of a family who lived right to the right of our great grandparents and our grandparents, and I found out as an adult, this man who was posing as this young lady's grandfather was her real father.
Wow.
And you know, these are traumatic situations that's been going on in our community for decades, maybe even centuries. And well, we were not centuries because we only been emancipated for years, but for decades. And it just shows, you know, people always say, why don't you speak up about these traumatic situations? You could get up out of these situations. And it ain't that. We were for 200 years, it was ingrained into us to turn the other head when this man was raping our sister, when this man was raping, when these dudes as overseers and they were doing harm to our young ladies. We had to turn our head and deal with it. And then again, it's inculcated into your DNA. It becomes a part of you. Right. So when we see these dudes coming up to our high schools, picking up these young girls, when we see these dudes, you driving down the street and you know, we used to call them Chesters, cat calling little girls, and instead of busting their heads, we like immediately it goes to the lady, like you said. Right. We look at these young ladies. Oh, she fast? No, she not fast. It's somebody I can go to a high school and sleep with anybody I want at 52 years old because I'm smart. I'm savvy enough to tap into
You're
you.
smarter than they are.
Right.
Period.
So these old ass men, doing what they having their way with young people, and you know what I'm saying. We jokingly say offering them candy, but candy comes in the form of shoes, money, clothing, attention.
Whatever they want.
You know what I mean?
Whatever they want.
Yeah.
And I think too when James Earl Jones left, then you got that person, which was her son. See, I told you he was gonna leave.
Yeah.
It's all your fault. And then that produces the other. And I think a lot of times, y'all can say if I'm wrong, but they may just be looking for love, and it may not. It's not ending up love. It's ending up love. So they just want one thing. And so when James Earl Jones left and her son come up to her, and he was waiting on that moment too. He was skeptical already from the jump, but he did come back. So I mean, it's like, you gotta realize too that it's always deeper than just the surface part of it. It's deeper than just the 6 kids. There's a lot more to it.
Looking for love in all the wrong places. Looking for love in too many faces.
And even James, let's even discuss the trauma that James Earl is going through. He's going through a situation where he's giving spending these women money, and the state again is in his business, making him create angst between him and those women, and now he don't want to be involved with this.
When your efforts feel like they're not going anywhere, they're not landing on anything. That's tiring. That will take the wind out of your existence.
Yeah, when that cat broke down and started crying, man,
you felt that.
Oh yeah,
it's
that was almost a sense of when you've been trying so hard and somebody decides to give up on you at that very moment. When you need them the most, they decide to give up. That's what that moment reminded me of. Right,
man. That's strong.
That moment reminded me of Tyrese. What do you want from me? I was waiting. I was waiting for him to say it.
But it's the truth.
It's the truth. What do you want? What else do you want from me?
Right. I'm giving you everything I can give you, and I'm trying to be there.
Officer and the gentleman when he says, "I got nothing else." You remember that? I got nothing else.
And another thing that most people don't even pick up on, and I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Richard Gere
Richard Gere. And I was listening to the Ghetto Boys podcast, and now it's on the Black Effect Network. Charlamagne, his thing. And one of the commercials is that comedian Jess Hilarious, and she's talking about black men having somebody to talk to is not a sign of weakness.
Right.
And what that made me think of, how I tie that into this movie is this. James Earl Jones didn't even tell his main man. He told his main man, "Hey man, I'm finna holler at Diahann Carroll."
Right.
But when he was stressing, he ate that.
He still didn't. He still didn't have that outlet. Yeah,
right. And then
he backed up into his car.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey,
because probably anybody else would have been like, "Oh man, you need to go and forget that woman, man. You need to go and just chill out, man. Go out with the boys, man." Yeah.
But that's real. Today, man. Today, Wilkes will tell you when I got into work, which was late. This morning was a morning. Yeah. So I had to. You got to vent. You got to get that stuff out, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to, because if you don't, it's gonna eat you. It's gonna literally eat you alive.
Man, that stuff will eat you up, man.
Did you have time to eat breakfast?
No, I don't eat breakfast. But you need like Doc says this sometimes. You need somebody that you just need to vent
pour your toxins out on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you have
to. Got to be somebody who's not gonna keep them, that they gonna flush them where they supposed to go.
Exactly. Or else those toxins gonna be inside and they will kill you.
No doubt.
Yeah.
All right, let's we're getting close, man. Let's do final thoughts and rank this joker.
Let's go. Let's go. All right,
Claudine. If you hadn't seen it, trust me, you're gonna have to fight through some sound issues. on YouTube, maybe, you know, because that's all we
Yeah,
got right now. But it's worth the fight.
Oh, it's worth it.
audio.
It's 100% worth it. But final thoughts. We're gonna go to A-Trap first.
Oh, it was just like I was saying. This is a perfect example of the experiences that is known as Black America. You got the plight of the black man, faced with wanting to be with somebody, and you got to deal with their issues, and you got to deal with your issues.
No issues, yeah.
And then you got to deal with there's no such thing as no place in the history of the world have you ever seen somebody under attack by their own government excel. And before we start condemning our sisters, and before we start condemning our brothers, let's figure out what the problem is. And you know, it's like, it's funny that we were joking at the beginning of the show about Libras, because your problem, sometimes you got to meet somebody where they are, you know what I mean? And we could you could pour in, sometimes you will help me with my problems just by telling me yours.
Yes, what's
Right.
up? That's the word right there.
Absolutely.
That's the
Now
word.
my mind is in fixing your problem and not stressing on mine.
Right,
And
stressing on my own.
I pour into you, and you can go, hey, what? Now that my mind is clear, I can see what's wrong with you, and then we can elevate. And that's what instead of saying, see, that's why we go across the street, because y'all don't understand. Instead of doing that, maybe we need to have conversations.
Yeah.
And say, hey, you messing up, right?
Yeah.
You messing up, and I'm messing up. But let's fix each other, and then we can both elevate.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
and this was the perfect example of that. You know, he was at the end of his road financially, but I could still handle you and your situation.
Right.
And then the government attacked me again. So it was a hell of a story, man. I could, you can relate to it. I watched, my mom didn't go through this. When no welfare people come to the crib. My mom worked for the state of Illinois from the time I was 2 years old, and she got fired for like 4 months. She got fired for like 4 weeks, and she died hating F. Lee Bailey for it. But that's another conversation. But it was, it was an excellent adaptation of what we actually go through versus what the perception is. So yeah, I loved it.
Yeah. All right, go ahead and give your mic rating too. I'm changing.
My mic rating is a 4.
Man.
I give it a 4.
Okay, it's solid.
Yeah.
All right, Wilkes.
Yeah, pretty much what A-Trap kind of piggybacking off of him. You know, when you meet somebody where they're at, it's, for example, when God meets you where you are in that moment, you don't have to tidy up things and try to make it work and for it to become something. If you just allow yourself to be met in that moment, and just, things start to happen, things start to work together, and it's just like, hey,
where you at?
Exactly. It's like, hey, I'm weak in this part, but you seem to be strong in this part. Now I'm strong where you're probably weak, so let's bring that together. So I think that was definitely a prime example for this movie. It, unfortunately, yes, James Earl Jones was running from that moment, but I don't think he realized Claudine was ready to go toe to toe. She was in there with him. I mean, just like when they left the welfare, like, fraud. She was screaming when he's screaming. So, so she ready. So it was one of those things where I enjoyed the movie. I think it's just one of those things he just needed somebody to know that, hey, I got your back. I know you have fears, and I know you're not sure about this situation, but if you really want to plant your feet and go in with it, absolutely, I'm there. I'm all in, 10 toes down, baby. But no, I was going to give it a 4. I definitely was going to give it a 4 for the rating. But this movie, I mean, there's so much more else in this movie. There's so much other things that we didn't unbox because with society and looking at, well, what's wrong with the black male? Why is he always running out? What's wrong with the black woman? There's so much. There's so much in this movie that, I mean, yes, Doc picked the perfect movie because yes, it had a little comedy. Yes, it had some hardships, but it also had those things that were like in the back of my mind. Man, what in society have we tied this to or compared this to? But yet, those little kids seem to keep hope. Like, man, we starting to like this guy. you know, and then, you know, the older son, you know, he was kind of like, you know, I'm a little skeptic, but
Right.
you know, it
And
may
he
work out.
fought and he fought him at the end.
Yeah.
Or
And
he
he
was
told
beating him up.
and see, and that's I'm sorry, Wills, for interrupting you, but
No,
that's
I'm done. I was kind of rambling on.
that's a perfect example of protecting. You know, you want to protect the people you love. You may not know how to articulate it, and what stuck out to me from what you're saying is when the oldest son told him, he told, you know, yeah, I don't like you, but I'm gonna let you date my mama, and every tear she cry, it's gonna be a quart of blood coming out your ass.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
So it ain't that I hate you, but I ain't gonna let you hurt my mama. But I don't really know how to articulate that. I don't know how to say, hey man,
right,
my mama done been through enough. Don't play.
Exactly.
But I know how to go upside some heads though.
Don't play with her emotions, man.
And the beautiful, hey, here's another thing, man. This is how you know James Earl was a good dude. He didn't fight him back because James Earl Jones knew, I mopped this young man.
Mopped this man.
He a big African garbage man.
Yeah,
I'm on the liquor too. I mopped the floor with this nigga. Boy, you better now. Sorry.
And another beautiful thing was this, and that's something else that we miss in the community, and entrepreneurship and things of that nature helps it. The people in that bar understood James could have whooped him too, and they just stood back and let him do. They like,
I just want to add this, but did you notice that slight moment when he was hugging him?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And the son was kind of like,
"What you doing?
I'm not. I should be fighting this, but then wait a minute, let me go, man.
I need this hug."
It was like he was kind of like, man, I've never been hugged by another man before. You know, it's like, you know, he's not hitting on me, he's not cussing me. You know, it's almost like he's trying to diffuse the situation. But
it was like that hug at the end of Step Brothers. If y'all have ever seen that.
I'm caught off guard.
Yeah, I did keep that, Whoops.
Yeah. All right, Doc.
Yeah. So obviously, like I say, y'all know the special nature that or connection I have with this movie. But before I go there, I want to. We don't do enough of showing the appreciation to the viewers. We got some fantastic supporters and viewers of the Fourcast every week.
Yes.
And I want to give a couple of special shout outs. These folks actually took the time to click the like button and do some other things there. And that's Runner Eve, Chris Bass. And if that's the Chris Bass from the Snowman in the Morning show who does the feature on Friday, right before mine, funny dude, down to earth. I'm going to have to get him on a couple of my shows. Sean Clinton, Nathan Ramachandra, my little sister Mika, Wayne McDaniel, the Jeff Fox show, Roy Jones, and Ray Jones, yeah. And then that's all I could pull up right now. But hey, and those folks on the Queen 3 and King YouTube channel, I appreciate y'all for standing in tough and supporting the Fourcast as well.
Thank you.
But James Earl Jones played the shit out of this role. In fact, the acting as a whole, it seemed natural for them kids. Nothing seem forced, right? They made you believe they was a family, man. The way them kids was arguing and shit like that, they really made you think they was a family. It was like it was just easy, unforced behavior, you know. So I think they did a fantastic job. But what's key for me is that according to this film, our community knew the idiocy of the welfare system and its designs on the Black family.
Right.
Why is this still in play? Why is this still a thing? We knew back in 1974 they trying to play us.
Yeah.
And this film did everything they could to scream from the hills. This some bullshit.
Right.
Yeah.
And we still fell for the okie doke.
Because he broke it down at the welfare office.
Still fell for the okie doke. But I give this film 4 solid mics, man. And I think it's timeless. And I think there's still a lot that can be learned from this movie, man.
Yeah. I felt like this was well needed. I feel like we needed to watch this. But more importantly, I feel like we all need to watch this, both sides, because it shows the how less they think of us. Like how they do not value us in this community or in this country, but we do a lot. and even the daughter touched on, George Washington Carver. Now she was touching on them points for Abdullah, but she brought up George Washington Carver and somebody else. But it hit a lot
they
of
were
points.
sharp too. Those kids were sharp,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
They wasn't no dummies, man.
Yeah, but it hit a lot of points. Don't come home pregnant. How many times have we heard that?
Right.
It hit a lot of points of things that we've talked about and heard throughout our lives.
Yeah.
And James Earl Jones did a hell of a job. Diahann Carroll did a great job. The kids, Joe Jackson, he was preparing for his future role. What was that? 40 years from that day. He did a good job too, man. And that dude's a solid actor in everything he's been in. And so I'm gonna give it a 4 too. I think it's a solid 4. Like I said, this was well needed. If you have not seen it, it is available on YouTube. You got to check it out.
Hey, and
one more thing.
I'm sorry.
Even
go
that kid, where the guy Freddie Boom Boom Washington, his character, when he was checking his mama, he was even breaking it down on some really high psychological stuff. When he told that, the kid always would play like he was invisible and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And he goes, because that's what you want him to play. Like he invisible, like he in your hair and stuff like that. That was really some high level breakdown shit. He was a little disrespectful in some ways.
Yeah.
But that showed a level of his intelligence and showed how he was really tuned in, not only to his family's dynamics, but society. Now, I'm still just a young teenager and I'm a little misguided and I let my emotions push me a little too far to make some permanent decisions. Hello, vasectomy. So I'm still stupid and wet behind the ears, but I'm no dummy by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, go ahead.
To touch on something you said, don't get pregnant. But what's funny? I've been saying this for years too. We always say, don't you go out there and get pregnant. And like women that I know just that are friends, and they were like, why men do this and why men do that? I was like, because we grew up in 2 different worlds.
Oh, absolutely.
We taught to hunt, and you be around a bunch of men, you be around your homeboys, and we taught get some.
Oh, absolutely.
And their first toys are how to be somebody's mama and how to be mature. So you rarely hear. You better not get pregnant, but you rarely hear, don't you get nobody pregnant. You don't you go your ass out there and get pregnant. You rarely hear that. So maybe as a community, as a society, we need to start pushing that.
Yes.
Versus always
both sides.
Right. Because again, it's only in the history of the world, we only heard of one person that got pregnant alone.
And we always say don't get pregnant, but we're grooming the kids to play with dolls.
Right.
To raise little babies.
Play with doll. And boys are not taught to be fathers. We're taught, people always go, well, why can't women get along? Because they were never pushed in a direction of camaraderie and team create, getting along. For our toys are balls that you need some cohesiveness to play with this ball.
Baseball bats.
Construction stuff. You need friends. You need people to build things. So we know how to. Hey, I don't like dog, but he know how to make a good ramp. So when we doing on these bikes and make these jumps, I'm gonna hang with him until he make this ramp.
I actually do. I'm gonna take 2 of them cinder blocks and I'm gonna put on top of each other. Then I'm gonna get that plywood and lay on top of them. They're gonna be flying through the air.
Aerodynamic, baby.
Right. Next thing you know, somebody gonna break their arm. But now everybody and now it's a thing that everybody, now we create a whole nother game. Who gonna sign it first? Women are not taught that. They taught, you better take care of this baby. You better do this. You better do that. So
here's the kitchen set. And there's kids.
So that's why we grow up in 2 different worlds.
Yeah. And I'll say this too. This last thing, the Joe Jackson. His name is Lawrence Hilton Jacobs. Anyway, but
all right, Joe.
It's still Joe. Coach. But he also seemed like he was in some type of Black Panther movement. He was tired. He was tired of the society. He was tired of what his mom was going through. So then when they came, they were like, "What you doing here?" And he was like, "I'm just tired. I'm trying to help. I'm not here."
To the point of the man got a vasectomy.
Yeah, the only thing I wish they'd have played that out a little bit more when she told him, "Tell him, do something, say something to him."
Yeah,
they're like, "What you gonna say to me?" Whatever the cat name was, or whatever. Yeah. But I think I got a feeling the way I was looking, James Earl Jones wasn't about to tell him what she thought he was gonna tell him.
Yeah,
he was probably gonna be saying, "I support you." And and like, hey, now let him ride.
Yeah, let him know. Yeah, let him.
You might not have had the right thought, but you are thinking about tomorrow.
Yes.
Right. No.
All right. Well, another great episode of the Forecast. Coming up next week, we'll be reviewing Who We Are, a chronicle of racism in America. I'm sure that one
show
is
right
gonna
there. Oh my
be
gosh, bro.
fire.
But
But
mind blown.
what's coming up tomorrow on End of the Bench?
Well, actually, man, the End of the Bench isn't even complete. I am playing with a couple ideas, but one of the things I am going to talk about is insurance with the police. The police department is the only profession. Like, okay, you're a doctor, you got malpractice insurance. You're an attorney, you got malpractice insurance. You're a construction worker, you got insurance. So if I get hurt on this job, everybody gonna get paid. The insurance companies in this country control the world. You know what I'm saying? People think your senators and your state representatives, they got mad when they said, you know what, we need to make the country safer. Everybody wear a seatbelt. No, the insurance company said, I'm tired of these people dying, and I'm tired of these people dying, and we got to pay double indemnity because they died in this damn car accident. So now seatbelts are saving lives because they don't want to pay. So I'm gonna give some statistics that I gathered and about how there are municipalities all over the United States of America in which they're too small to generate the money of a Dallas, of a Chicago, of a New York, of a Baltimore, of a Los Angeles. So what they do is they take like the surrounding suburbs of Chicago are Bellwood, Maywood, Oak Park. So they'll get together and have a communal insurance fund. So when their police officers act a fool, they'll pay out of it. But then the insurance companies have gotten people fired by saying, you know what, Officer H-Rap he got too many violations. Either y'all fire him or
absolutely.
Insurance.
Absolutely.
And what we need to do is, do you know Rahm Emanuel? Literally, the police department here in Chicago is so reckless. This jackleg Rahm Emanuel literally wrote it into the Chicago city budget, money to pay out for police brutality. See, we focused on the 17 million for Laquan McDaniel, the 25 million for Breonna Taylor. But what about the 10s and the 20s and the $50,000s of dollars? And they even put it together in a junk bond. So now it's a bond that people are buying to pay out dividends on people getting attacked by the police department,
getting murdered.
Oh, and by the way, the cities that are budgeting for us to get beat down are Democratic run cities, and most of them, 70% of them, have black mayors. Wow. So I don't know how deep I'm gonna go into that, but I'm gonna go into that and a couple other things. So that's why I don't have the entire get down complete. But you trust and believe by 6 p.m. tomorrow, it'll be in full effect.
Let's go.
Right on.
6 p.m. Central Standard Time, End of the Bench podcast on YouTube. Type in the End of the Bench. Also on Spreaker. You still live on Spreaker too?
Yeah. Well, I'm not live on Spreaker, but I will. I upload a Spreaker at later dates, which I'm
definitely on YouTube. Go there, support. All right, what's coming up tomorrow? THA, yeah, the THA, yeah, like fat. Tomorrow on Queen 3 and King.
We're covering tomorrow's topic is life after miscarriage. We have a couple of guests on. Today is actually National Rainbow Baby Day. And rainbow baby is a term for a child born to a family that has previously lost a baby due to miscarriage. So tomorrow, in recognition of that, we're going to kind of cover miscarriage. We'll have a few special guests on that have experienced this. One of them being my niece, who was so gracious enough to come on. Another one is well, she's family at the end of the day, because her and my cousin lost a baby. And then we actually have AJ Jones of the Lunch Break Sports Show. And he's had some experience with this as well. So we wanted to talk to people who have actually experienced it, they can break it down. Like, how did it impact you? How did it impact your relationship? See, a lot of times I've never heard a father talk about how miscarriage has affected him.
Really?
Never heard of daddy. I done heard women from time to time talk about it, but never had heard a man talk about how did that affect you? You know, how does it affect the kids if they already had kids? What about the future kids? Et cetera, et cetera. So there's going to be quite a few topics about it tomorrow. So please join us there tomorrow. If you know anybody who has suffered from a miscarriage that can benefit from this, please tell them about it to tune in tomorrow on Queen 3 and King at 7 p.m. Central Time.
And Golden, y'all gonna add Pauline. Okay.
One of the things I was debating on touching on is miscarriages. This is ironic that you said that, because this abortion thing, this Roe versus Wade thing, people are getting arrested. Like the young lady and her mom, she had a miscarriage, and for whatever reason, these people buried the child and to hide the miscarriage, and now they are on trial. And Kansas has stood up, and I don't want people to confuse. That's one of the things. It's ironic that you bring that up. Kansas is one of the states that just recently stood. They are a straight red state, but they stood up because they said, "Hey, we don't want the government in our business," and they said we're gonna keep abortion into our state constitution. And I'm gonna touch on that. And when you said that, it triggered. I didn't even look at my notes. I got my notes right here, and I didn't. That's the second topic that I was gonna do.
Yeah, and Golden. I'm not sure about call-ins tomorrow. It kind of depends on the flow of the show. I kind of let that determine, and then sometimes technology don't cooperate either. So not quite sure yet, but tune in. And obviously, if you got something to share or whatever, you always put it in the chat, but stay tuned. We may take call-ins on it. Just kind of depends. And then I kind of try to fill out the guests too, to make sure that they are up for that kind of thing. Because again, we took some great links to make sure that they were ready for this, and we actually invited a couple other folks who weren't ready. They turned us down and said, I ain't ready to talk about this yet. And they actually have a rainbow baby they raising right now that's still less than 3 months old. So, but they just weren't ready yet to talk about it, because it's still very fresh with a new baby, and one of the aspects of it is, I said, I'm willing to bet that when you got a rainbow baby, when that baby is new, you still are in fear.
Oh, I'm sure.
You lost a baby, so you still in fear. Even though this baby has made it out of the womb, I'm still scared. I don't. Is something gonna happen to him? So that's an aspect that has to be real too. So this ought to be a powerful Queen 3 and King tomorrow.
Yeah, it's gonna be, because Doc, to piggyback off what you just said, before BJ, I was part of a miscarriage, and you're right. You don't hear men talk about it, but I remember until BJ was able to move around a little bit, I probably slept about 4 hours a night, because I would get up and I would literally watch BJ sleep all night, just hoping not to happen.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh no, absolutely. I was the same way with my daughter, even my son, my firstborn. I mean, it's almost like you don't take it into consideration in my mind, because it goes 1,000 different ways at 5,000 miles per hour. You think about it, your heartbeat is constantly beating at that age. You get to 90, 120, whatever, your heart has beat that many times. And you think about it, that heart could shut off at a moment's notice. Or that child could develop a disease or an issue at the age of 12 or 13. So it's like, in my head, I was always just constantly like, I had to talk myself out of it, because I was worried about certain things that would come up. Trust me, oh man, I was constantly with Andre. He's 18 now, but I mean, I was constantly watching Andre, and then with Reagan, she's 10, and it was just constantly
Yeah, they always talk about that. They say that first kid, you're so careful with them. That second kid, gone. They can eat that.
Yeah.
They can drink that turpentine. It ain't gonna hurt them.
Yeah.
Eat that Play-Doh.
Drink some milk afterwards. You'll be all right.
Right.
Yeah, man. I remember. Hey, Wilkes. I remember watching BJ in the middle of the night, and I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
And see, I couldn't go back to sleep until he did this.
Yeah. Right.
And I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'll go back to sleep about another hour, and I'm back up watching.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's real. That's real.
All right, cool, man.
All right, and we will do call-ins on this show. We didn't tonight because we knew we was gonna be going a full hour and 30 minutes, but definitely in the future. But next week, who we are, or hold on, yeah.
Man,
who we are.
Gosh, that show right there.
Whoa. Yeah, look out for that. And A-Trap.
Wow.
I want to say this to the listeners. Thank y'all for listening and everything. But I need you guys to even if you just put okay in the chat room, yes. It helps the algorithm and it helps drive attention to whether it's BS3 or the end of the bench. So even if we saying something that's riveting and you are totally in agreement with it, please just type in okay. Because the more comments we get, the more traffic is drawn to BS3 or the end of the bench, and the more successful we are. So I need you guys to do that. And as usual, I salute Reggie O'Shea. Rest in peace by saying dream those dreams and man up, woman up and live those dreams. It's life without dreams, flows in black and white, and life with dreams, flows in technical colors and surround sound. And salute to Craig Smith and everybody else who out there who are supporting us in all our endeavors. We really appreciate it. And y'all already know if I owe you something, I ain't got it. We're in a recession. I ain't got it. And if you need it, get it from God.
Get it from God. BS3.
BS3 Network. Changing the way you watch TV.